Welcome to the Big Six Show on 101.7 The Herd. You can call at 888-321-6543. Our first topic today, the Cleveland Browns. What we got to say, guys?
Want to start first?
Personally, I have the Cleveland Browns winning the AFC North this year and having them as one of the best teams in the country or the NFL. I personally think so because of the new acquisitions they've had this year in acquiring Olivier Vernon and Odell Beckham Jr. from the Browns. This gives them another pass rusher to play outside of Myles Garrett and another receiver to go back and play with his old teammate Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry as they did in LSU together. And with a good quarterback in Baker Mayfield, I think they can make a strong case for the AFC Championship or even the Super Bowl. Also with the acquisitions of Kareem Hunt and also with the solid running back in Nick Chubb.
So I personally think that I agree with you a little bit on it, that they will definitely do phenomenal this year. I mean, they have Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, like you said, all those great players. But there is competition with the Ravens. Aren't that big of a competitor. Yes, they are really good. Yes, they have Lamar Jackson. But I do not think that the Ravens can't beat them this year. The Ravens, we can say, probably will not make the playoffs, and the Browns will either get second or first. Now it comes down to the Steelers. Of course, the Steelers every year do phenomenal. I mean, they didn't make the playoffs last year, but that was just because everyone else was pretty good. The Ravens made the playoffs last year and lost to San Diego. And, lost to the Chargers in the playoffs. And it's crazy how, they can win and overtake the Browns, and they can go to the playoffs because they have Ben Roethlisberger, Juju Smith-Schuster, Antonio Brown, James Conner. They have a bunch of good players just like the Browns, and it's just going to be good to see how it comes out, to see who will get the winning seed, and then maybe one of them gets the wild card.
All right, moving on to our second topic today about Dwight Haskins. What do you think about Dwight Haskins? What's our opinion on him?
Dwayne Haskins, he was picked by the Redskins, which is a great thing that the Redskins did. It's crazy that the Giants didn't pick him, but I think they just thought that Daniel Jones was better. And it's going to be interesting to see if Daniel Jones does not do as good and Dwayne Haskins really does good. Then it's just going to be funny because, they had the chance to pick Dwayne Haskins and then they picked Daniel Jones. And I just think that the Redskins did a really good job because they needed a quarterback because Colt McCoy isn't, doing the best. And then you have Josh Johnson he was sitting out for 7 years. He didn't start for 7 years and then finally came in and did starting and then, won to the Jaguars, 16-13. And it's just going to be interesting to see how their quarterback, because I think Alex Smith will retire after this. I think that injury is just really hard to come back from, so... Yeah.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but personally, I don't like Dwayne Haskins as a quarterback. I think he doesn't really show flights of, possible greatness within the Washington Redskins organization. He's from Bethesda, right outside Washington, but personally, I just don't think that he has the IQ to be able to make some throws that they're asking him to. He only started 1 year at Ohio State. He set a good amount of records, but he also did have a good supporting cast around him. And I think he has a good supporting cast in Washington, but I just don't think that he's the man for Washington.
And you also have to remember that, it's still the Redskins. The Redskins have and they also don't have the best O-line, to protect Dwayne Haskins. So, yeah, that's all I got on that one.
All right, we have Simon calling in from Norrisville, Pennsylvania. How are you, Simon?
Hey, what's going on, boys? Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. So, I want to talk about NFL MVP and who do you think is going to be the next MVP? And that's a really exciting conversation, as I think one of the sleeper picks is Baker Mayfield, quarterback of the Browns. You were talking about the Browns earlier, and I think with these new offensive pieces that they have, in the addition to the defense, I really think they're going to be a sound threat for the division and potentially might make it to the AFC title game. I think if they can put some things together. So, with that, do you think Baker Mayfield has any shot to win the NFL MVP? No quarterback has won the MVP unless their team has won 11 or more games, and the Browns have not done that since we've all been alive. So, there's a lot of history that they would have to buck, but definitely something I would like to keep an eye on. What do you guys think?
Personally, I don't think Baker Mayfield would be an NFL MVP because personally, as you said, Simon, like a game over a NFL MVP quarterback over 11 games, I can see the Browns doing well, but I just don't see them, flourishing this year. And personally, I think Aaron Donald has a strong chance at winning MVP. I mean, he's been such a great defensive player for the Rams, and he's shown that he is everything that a pass rusher is. And he's shown that he can be that man on the defensive front, leading the Rams. He led that defense to a Super Bowl. Although they lost, I mean, they're still a really young team. And I think he showed us that he is arguably the top defensive player in the league, and possibly even the best player in the league. I mean, he's one hell of an athlete. He can play inside, he can play the 3 technique, outside, rush the passer, play the run. He's everything that you could ask for. And he's just he's a Swiss Army knife on the defensive end. So, that's my thoughts.
All right, so I actually have to disagree a little bit. I'll make this quick so we can get out of here. But I think that Baker Mayfield does have potential to win the MVP. Yes, like Simon just called and said, yes, there has not been a quarterback MVP or just MVP with more than 11 wins. They can have 11 wins this year. They have the team, have the receivers. They're working on their O-line, they're working on their D-line, and they're working on their defense. They might have a shot to get Baker Mayfield to have the MVP. Did he win the Rookie of the Year last year?
Yes, I believe so.
So then he might be able to. We don't know what he can do his second year. We don't know what he can do his third year. There's this. We can't predict the future.
But it's also
a lot of possibilities.
But it's also possible that do they have enough experience? Do they have enough winning experience? But that's all for now. I'm here with my partners.
I'm here with Javi and Jake. Thank you for joining us on the Big Six Show on 101.7 The Herd. We'll see you next time.